You never truly understand time until you start to lose it. There comes a moment in every life where you look around and realize that the noise has taken over. Deadlines scream, schedules pile, your phone buzzes like a lifeline and a leash. The world is spinning fast, yet something inside you feels slow, stuck, hollow. Now pause. Imagine this. A doctor looks you in the eyes and says 6 words that slice through your reality. You have 6 months to live. That single thought silences the noise. You stop thinking about meetings, about emails, about likes. You stop chasing what never loved you back. And in the silence, something old and true rises from within. You remember what matters. This question, brutal as it seems, is not about fear. It is about clarity. It removes the fog. If you had 6 months left, what would you do differently? Who would you see? What would you finally say? What would you stop waiting for? The truth is, most people live as if they have forever. They push joy into the future like a bill they never plan to pay. They say they will start writing that book. They say they will spend more time with their children. They say they will fix their health when life slows down. But life never slows down. It only ends. If you had 6 months, you would not waste time proving anything to anyone. You would not overthink. You would not stay where you are, not loved. You would not scroll past your life for hours on end. You would start living with ruthless honesty and fearless intention. So why wait? What would you change if time was scarce? Because newsflash, it already is. Balance is not a luxury. It is not something you earn after success. Balance is a requirement for life to mean something. The Greeks said it best: moderation in all things. Not because they feared excess, but because they understood energy. If you give too much to one thing, you steal from another. There is no glory in the grind if the grind costs you your soul. So many people wake up chasing the wrong finish line. They race through life chasing promotions, chasing approval, chasing applause. But they forget that the finish line is not applause. It is a hospital bed, a quiet room, a final breath. And in that last moment, not one man has ever said, "I wish I had spent more time at the office." But many have whispered, "I wish I had loved better. I wish I had slowed down. I wish I had seen the sky more, laughed more, hugged longer. I wish I had lived." So, you ask yourself now, not later, if I only had 6 months left, what would I do? And once you find your answer, you do not wait for permission. You do not wait for retirement. You start now. You take a step toward what matters, and you take it every single day. Because clarity is power. And this question, this painful, sobering, life-giving question has the power to set you free. Do not live like you are invincible. Live like you are awake. You are not here to impress people. You are here to connect, to feel, to create, to become. So start living like time matters, because it does. And if 6 months would change everything, why wait until you have less? Time is a liar. It whispers in your ear that there is always more. More days, more chances, more time to get your act together. So you delay the things that matter. You postpone healing. You postpone change. You put off life itself. But time does not owe you anything. It does not pause when you are tired. It does not slow down when you are lost. It does not care if you are ready. So, stop believing the lie. Balance is not something you stumble into when life becomes easy. Balance is a decision, a responsibility, a sacred choice that says your health, your family, your joy, they matter now, not later. People say they do not have time. That is the anthem of the modern age. I do not have time to exercise. I do not have time to sit with my children. I do not have time to call my parents. I do not have time to rest. But time is not the problem. Attention is. We all get the same 24 hours. Some use it to build. Some use it to numb. Some use it to avoid. The difference is not in the clock. It is in the clarity. When you say you do not have time, what you are really saying is it is not a priority. That may sound harsh, but truth often is. So, here's a better question. Instead of saying, do I have time, ask yourself, what am I choosing instead? Because every yes is a no to something else. You say yes to overtime. You say no to dinner at home. You say yes to another binge session online. You say no to the book that could change your life. You say yes to the urgent, and you say no to the important. You are not out of time. You are out of focus. You must reclaim it. Every minute you waste on the meaningless is a betrayal to the life you could have lived. The world will not give you time. You must take it. Set boundaries like your life depends on it, because it does. Schedule your peace. Protect your time like you protect your child. Defend your mornings. Make your evenings sacred. Cut the noise. Cut the clutter. Cut the excuses. You do not need more hours. You need more intention. And that is what balance truly is. Not equal hours for everything, but full presence for what matters. 10 minutes of honest connection with your child is better than 2 hours of distracted scrolling beside them. 1 hour of deep focus will outperform 5 hours of chaotic busyness. It is not about doing it all. It is about choosing what matters and giving it your whole self. You do not get another today. This is it. This is the day you either drift or decide. The illusion of time is comforting. It tells you not to worry, but it is a trap. Comfort without clarity becomes complacency, and complacency will cost you your life. So be ruthless with distraction. Be fierce with your energy. Be bold with your presence. Balance is not something you fall into. It is something you fight for. Because time is slipping quietly, quickly, without apology. And the question is not whether you have enough time. The question is, will you use it before it runs out? Picture this. You have $20 million in the bank. You have no debt, no financial worry, your bills are paid, your family is cared for, and you are in excellent health. But there is a catch. You only have 10 years left to live, and you cannot sit idle. You must work, not for survival, but for meaning. Now ask yourself, what would you do? That question has more power than you think, because money is no longer the filter. Fear is no longer the excuse. Approval is no longer the goal. All that remains is truth. And that truth reveals what your heart has been whispering for years. The work that ignites you, the craft that calls you, the field you have secretly admired while pretending you are fine. So what is it? Maybe it is writing stories that move people. Maybe it is healing others through medicine or music. Maybe it is teaching with your whole soul, or building, or coaching, or cooking. The specifics do not matter. What matters is the feeling, the pull, the voice inside you that says, this is what I was meant to do. Most people never listen. They stay in jobs that numb them, lives that shrink them. They collect promotions but lose themselves. They become efficient machines doing work they do not love for people they do not trust toward goals they do not care about. That is not life. That is survival with a necktie. But some people choose differently. Some people hear the question, if you had all the money in only 10 years, what would you do? And they answer it honestly, and then they act. Slowly, quietly, boldly. They read books on their dream field. They talk to people already doing it. They take small steps, night classes, side projects, volunteer hours. They build bridges between where they are and where they belong. And something amazing happens. The distance shrinks. They find opportunity. They find mentors. They find themselves alive again. And in time, they do not just chase purpose. They become it. You do not have to quit your job tomorrow. You do not have to burn every bridge. But you do have to ask, if I had all the skill and all the time, what would I do with this life? What kind of work would make me forget the clock? What kind of mission would make me proud to look my children in the eye and say, this is what I give my life to? You must know this. Life will take a toll no matter what. So do not pay it in regret. Pay it in passion. Do not spend your years climbing ladders that are leaning against the wrong wall. You may get to the top, only to find there is nothing there. Find your wall, build your own ladder, and climb with joy. Because the greatest currency is not money, it is meaning. And the greatest return is not a paycheck, it is peace. We live in a world obsessed with more. More goals, more tools, more apps, more hacks. People fill their schedules and call it productivity. But busyness is not the same as progress. And effort is not the same as impact. The truth is simple. You do not need more to do. You need to know what to do. There is a law, a quiet, overlooked law, that separates the overwhelmed from the effective. It is called the Law of Three. And once you understand it, you will never work the same again. Here is how it works. Make a list of every task you do in a typical week. Write down everything. Emails, meetings, reports, chores, calls, projects. For most people, that list will be long. 20, 30, sometimes 50 tasks. Now here is the truth. Only 3 of those tasks contribute to 90% of your results. Let that sink in. 3 tasks create almost all your value. 3 actions bring almost all your growth. 3 moves build almost all your future. The rest is noise, background, busy work, pretend productivity. So you ask yourself the 3 questions. First, if I could only do one thing on this list all day, which one task would have the greatest positive impact on my life or my income? Circle that. Then, if I could only do 2 things, what is the second most impactful task? Circle that. Finally, what is the third task that would move the needle the most? Circle it. Now look at those 3. That is your power zone. That is where your time must go. That is where your life begins to change. People are stunned when they do this. They realize they have been spending 80% of their time on things that do not matter. They answer emails that lead nowhere. Sit in meetings that drain energy. Chase low-priority tasks that fill the day but empty the soul. No more. From now on, your mission is clear. Do fewer things. Do more important things. Do them more often and get better at them every day. This is not theory. This is math. This is mastery. Whether you are a student, a CEO, a creator, or a parent, the Law of Three applies. It is universal, and it is urgent. Because time is limited, focus is precious, and your attention is the most valuable currency you own. So, here is your new rule. You are not here to do everything. You are here to do the few things that matter, and to do them with excellence. Let the others fade. Delegate what you can. Delay what is not urgent. Delete what does not belong, and devote yourself fully to the 3. When you master this law, you do not just become more productive. You become more peaceful, more powerful, more present. Because you are no longer scattered, you are no longer running in circles, you are moving in a straight line with purpose and precision. You are living by design, not by default. And that is how time stops feeling like a burden and starts becoming your ally. The Law of Three is not a hack. It is a revelation. Use it and reclaim your time. Every person on this planet has been given the same gift. Time. 24 hours. No more. No less. What separates the fulfilled from the frustrated is not time itself. It is how they manage it. And here is the truth. Time management is not a system. It is not a planner. It is not an app. It is life management. Because how you spend your minutes is how you spend your life. So if you want mastery over your time, you must begin with 4 unshakable pillars. They are called the 4 Ds. Simple words. Lifelong impact. The first D is desire. No system will work if you do not want change. Not a passing wish, not a New Year's fantasy, but a burning, relentless desire. A fire in your chest that says, I am done wasting time. I am done making excuses. I want my life back. Desire is the spark, the ignition, the beginning of ownership. Without desire, you stay on autopilot. Days blur, goals drift. Life feels like sand slipping through your hands. But when desire takes root, clarity follows. Energy returns. The fog begins to lift. The second D is decision. Desire is not enough. Many people want to improve. Few decide to. Decision means you draw a line in the sand. You commit, not try, not maybe. You decide. You decide that from this moment forward, time is no longer your enemy. You decide to track it, to protect it, to sharpen it. Because here is what most people never learn. Without a decision, nothing changes. Without a decision, desire fades. But with one clear decision, the entire direction of your life shifts. The third D is discipline. This is where most fall. Discipline is not willpower. It is not intensity. It is consistency. It is doing the right thing long after the feeling to do it has passed. Time mastery is not glamorous. It is not loud. It is showing up to your priorities again and again, when distractions beg for your attention, when the couch whispers comfort, when your phone offers escape. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being committed. You miss a day, you return. You slip, you adjust. You fall, you rise. Discipline does not ask for flawlessness. It asks for loyalty. The fourth D is determination. Because even with desire, decision, and discipline, life will test you. There will be interruptions, critics, fatigue, failure. Determination is the muscle that keeps moving when things get hard. It is the voice that says, I did not come this far to stop now. It is the grit that makes time management not just a technique, but a character trait. And here is the reward. When you live with the 4Ds, everything changes. You stop reacting and start choosing. You stop surviving your schedule and start designing it. Your days become aligned. Your work becomes meaningful. And your life begins to feel like it belongs to you again. Time management is not just about doing more. It is about doing what matters most and becoming who you were meant to be. So ask yourself, do you have the desire? Will you make the decision? Can you live with discipline? And will you stay the course with determination? If the answer is yes, you are already on the path. And that path leads to power. It is easy to be busy. It is harder to be effective. And the difference lies in one word: results. You do not get paid for trying. You do not get rewarded for effort. You get rewarded for what you complete. This is the quiet truth of success that few people want to hear. They want praise for potential, for busyness, for staying up late and looking tired. But the world does not pay for exhaustion. It pays for outcomes. So ask yourself, what are you producing? What are you finishing? What are you delivering that changes something? Because here is what we know. Every day is full of activity. But not all activity creates impact. Answering emails is activity. Scrolling through your inbox is activity. Chasing small tasks feels like motion. But unless it leads to something that matters, it is just noise. Focus is the weapon that cuts through the noise. And real focus starts with clarity. You must know what matters. You must know what results are expected of you. You must know what your role actually exists to create. If you are on a payroll, what are you being paid to produce? If you run a business, what are your clients truly buying from you? If you are building a dream, What is the one result that moves you closer to it? Fuzzy focus leads to fuzzy results. Clear focus leads to clear results. This is not philosophy. This is precision. Now comes the hard part. Once you know what matters, you must commit to it. You must concentrate on it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Concentration is not multitasking. It is the opposite. It is single tasking with fire. It is choosing one needle mover and giving it your full energy until it is done. Here is the pattern of winners. They start something important and they finish it. That is it. They do not chase shiny distractions. They do not jump from task to task. They start and they stay. And that habit, simple as it sounds, creates unstoppable momentum. Because each time you finish something that matters, you change. Your confidence grows. Your belief expands. Your energy spikes. Your creativity awakens. Finishing releases chemicals in your brain that say you can do this. And that belief stacks up over time until you are no longer guessing. You are performing. So here is the new standard. Stop starting things you do not finish. Stop being proud of half-built bridges. Start measuring your success by completions, not intentions. Because the market pays for finished work. The world rewards solutions, not efforts. You want more income? Finish what brings value. You want more freedom? Finish what creates results. You want more respect? Finish what proves your word. Focus on outcomes. Complete what you begin, and you will rise faster than you imagined. Not because you did more, but because you finished what mattered. You walk into the office. The screen lights up. Your phone buzzes. Notifications flash. Your calendar chimes. You open your inbox. 37 emails. 5 are urgent. 3 are spam. The rest will steal your next hour if you let them. And you do. You reply. You scroll. You get up to grab coffee. You chat. You check the news. You remember the report due at noon. You panic. You rush. You recover. Then it happens all over again. This is not work. This is digital drowning. And here is the truth no one wants to admit. Most people are only working at 50% of their true capacity. It is not because they lack intelligence. It is not because they lack talent. It is because they are drowning in distraction. In every study, across industries, the numbers say the same thing. On average, workers spend 30 to 40% of their day in non-work activities. Chit-chat, gossip, YouTube, messaging, meetings with no outcome. They are busy, but not productive. And it costs them more than time. It costs them pride. It costs them momentum. It costs them the chance to be great. Now imagine what would happen if you removed the noise. Imagine if you worked with focus, clarity, and intention. You would double your output. You would rise faster than your peers. You would create more in fewer hours than others do in full weeks. Because the playing field is not equal. In today's world, the most valuable skill is not speed. It is focus. So how do you rise above? You start with awareness. You track your time for one day. Just one. Where does it go? What steals it? What drains you? What feeds you? You begin to see patterns. That 20-minute scroll session? It was 90 minutes. That check-in meeting? It solved nothing. That 1 hour of silence before lunch? That was your most powerful window. You cannot improve what you do not measure. And time is no different. The second step is environment. You must build a place that invites focus and blocks distraction. Clear your desk. Turn off the noise. Silence the phone. Close the 10 browser tabs that are slowly bleeding your attention. Make your space a weapon, because here is a law that never fails. If your environment is chaotic, your mind will be too. But when your environment is clean, your focus sharpens like a blade. The third step is boundaries. You cannot say yes to everyone and still say yes to your mission. You must learn to protect your time like a fortress. You do not owe instant replies. You do not owe availability to everyone. You owe your best energy to your most important work. The fourth step is intention. You begin your day with a clear purpose. You write down what must be done. You highlight the one task that truly moves the needle. And you start there. Not with email, not with news, not with fluff, with the real thing, the heavy thing, the one that counts. And then you finish it. Because this is the final truth. Distraction is not just a habit. It is a decision. You can choose distraction, or you can choose your future, but you cannot choose both. There is a reason the military begins with the bed. There is a reason top CEOs clear their desks every evening. There is a reason your best ideas often come when the room is quiet and the space is open. Neatness is not decoration. It is energy. When your environment is cluttered, your mind is cluttered. When your desk is buried, your priorities get buried too. When your files are scattered, your thoughts scatter with them. And here is the deeper truth. Mess is not just visual. It is emotional. It creates stress you cannot always name. It clouds decisions. It hides what matters beneath what is convenient. But clarity changes everything. Imagine walking into your space. No clutter, no loose papers, no noise. Just the tools you need, the notes that matter, and a clear surface that says one thing. You are here to do something important. This is not about being tidy. It is about being intentional. You start with the physical. Clean your desk. Remove what is not essential. Keep only the tools you truly use. Put the rest away or let it go. Create space for your work to breathe. Then move to the digital. Organize your desktop. Close every tab that does not serve your mission today. Unsubscribe from the noise. Sort your files. Create folders that work for your mind, not against it. Your digital space is an extension of your mental space. If your folders are chaos, your thinking will be too. Then move to your calendar. Every appointment should have a reason. Every meeting should have a goal. Every block of time should reflect your values, not your guilt. Time is sacred, and your calendar is a mirror. What you schedule is what you say yes to. So make sure your calendar reflects who you are, not who others expect you to be. Now you build rhythm. Begin and end your workday the same way. Clear the desk. Set the priorities. Close the loops. Finish strong. Leave your space ready for tomorrow. Because the way you end today will shape the way you start tomorrow. And here is something no one teaches you. A clean space creates emotional energy. It gives you a sense of control. It makes you feel powerful before you even begin. It whispers that you are ready, that this day will not own you, that you are not buried. You are rising, and that mindset carries over into your posture, into your tone, into your work, because you are not reacting to chaos. You are creating from clarity. Success is not just a result of big goals. It is the product of small practices, repeated with care. And neatness is one of the smallest, most powerful practices there is. It asks only for a few minutes, but it gives you back momentum. And momentum is everything. So the next time you feel stuck, do not start with a new goal. Start with your space. Clean the surface. Close the tabs. Clear the noise. And make room for the work that matters. Because when the world gets loud, order becomes your power. Every morning, life gives you a question. What will you finish today? Not what will you start, not what will you try, Not how busy will you look, but what will you finish? Because completion is the bridge between intention and transformation. You may be inspired, you may be motivated, you may be bursting with ideas, but none of it means anything until it becomes action, until it becomes a result, until something is done. And here is the truth. You will never be remembered for what you almost finished. The world rewards the closer, the one who takes things to the end, the one who pushes through the last 10% when most have already given up. So here is a rule you must learn to live by. Start less, finish more. Stop chasing everything. Stop dipping your toe into 10 projects. Stop starting new ideas just to avoid the discomfort of staying with one. Choose your most important task, begin it, and finish it. It sounds simple, but it is rare. Most people are trapped in loops. They begin with energy. They feel good. They make progress. But then discomfort hits. The problem gets complex. The excitement fades, and they jump to the next shiny thing, the next idea, the next distraction. And what they do not realize is this. The real rewards begin after the excitement ends. Mastery begins where motivation stops. And the only way through that dip is focus. Ruthless, laser focus. You begin your day with a list, but you do not treat all tasks the same. You ask one question. If I could only do one thing today, one task, which one would create the greatest impact? You circle it, and you start it. Immediately, with full attention. No checking email, no scrolling, no bouncing between tabs. You stay with that one thing until it is done. And then you celebrate, not with noise, but with clarity. Because finishing changes you. It builds belief. It raises your standards. It tells your brain you are the kind of person who follows through. And that identity shift is everything. Now you repeat. One task, one focus, one completion. Again and again. Until it becomes who you are. Because the future is not built in massive leaps. It is built in focused completions, stacked daily, like bricks. One solid result after another, until you look up and realize you have built something extraordinary. So ask yourself, what am I starting and never finishing? What am I touching without closing? What would happen if I simply committed to finishing what matters every single day? The answer is simple. You would become unstoppable. Let me tell you a number that will change your life. Your hourly rate. Take your yearly income. Divide it by 2,000. That is your hourly value. For example, if you earn $100,000 a year, your hour is worth $50. Now ask yourself, are you spending your day doing $50 work? Because most people are not. They answer emails someone else could answer. They fix problems someone else could fix. They do $10 tasks with a $100 mind. They are busy, but not valuable. And here is the secret. You are not paid for effort. You are paid for value. So if you want to grow, you must raise the value of your hour. And you do that by doing what only you can do. That means you delegate. That means you automate. That means you let go of control. That means you trust people to handle the things you should not be touching. And that scares people. They say, what if they do it wrong? What if it takes longer to explain? What if no one can do it like me? But here is the truth. If you keep doing everything, you will never grow into the person who does what truly matters. Delegation is not weakness. It is wisdom. You are the leader of your life. You are the architect. You are the one with the vision. You are not the janitor. You are not the tech support. You are not the personal assistant. You are management. So act like it. Every time you do a task that someone else can do for less, you are stealing from your future. You are giving away hours you could have spent building, thinking, creating, leading. You are the only one who can have your ideas, the only one who can speak your voice, the only one who can build your dream the way it was meant to be built. So stop watering down your time. Start protecting it. Ask yourself every morning, is this the highest use of my time? If the answer is no, find someone else to do it. Train them, trust them, and then move on to what only you can do. Because your energy is finite, and your calling is too great to be buried under tasks that do not need your hands. Every hour you free is a seed you can plant into something bigger. And over time, those seeds grow into legacy. In the end, it always comes back to time. Not how much of it you had, but how much of it you used. Not how many hours you filled, but how many moments you lived. Not how many tasks you finished, but how much purpose you poured into each one. Because time is not your enemy. It is your mirror. It reflects your choices, your discipline, your truth. You say you want to change, then look at your time. You say you want peace, then look at your time. You say you want to leave a mark, then look at your time. Because time is where legacy is built. 1 hour at a time, one task at a time, one decision at a time. You have been given the most valuable currency on earth. The question is, will you spend it building distractions or building destiny? Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for motivation. The clock is already ticking. Start now. Take control. Choose your priorities. Finish what matters. Protect your focus. Do what only you can do. Because when you master your time, you do not just master your schedule. You master your life. And that, my friend, is how you become unstoppable.